There comes a time in every person's life when the walls close in, when nothing seems to go right, when the world feels like it's pressing down with its full weight, and your legs are barely holding you up. In that moment, you're not thinking about success. You're not dreaming of wealth, fame, or freedom. You're just trying to survive, to breathe, to get through the next minute. And that's right there is the beginning of every truly powerful transformation. Let's be honest. Doesn't hand out participation trophies. It doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards grit. It rewards those who take the pain, the rejection, the failure, and use it as fuel. Not an excuse, not a reason to stop, but a reason to go harder. And if no one's ever told you this before, let me be the first. You are not broken, you're not behind. You're just in the fire. And the fire isn't here to destroy you, it's here to shape you. Do you know how diamonds are formed? Pressure, relentless, unyielding pressure. Do you know how swords are made? By being burned, beaten, and sharpened over and over. So why do we expect our lives to be smooth? Why do we believe struggle is punishment instead of preparation? Every successful person you've ever admired, every hero, every legend, every leader, they all walked through fire, they all failed. They all cried, they all bled, but they never stopped walking. We've been sold a lie, that success comes quickly, that it comes from luck, talent, or privilege. But the truth, real, lasting success comes from struggle, from late nights and early mornings, from showing up when no one is watching, from being doubted, laughed at, ignored, and pushing forward anyway. Every no, every loss, every delay, those are the bricks of your comeback story. And right now, whether you see it or not, your story is being built. Some of you are dealing with pain so deep, you can barely talk about it. Maybe you lost someone, maybe you lost yourself, maybe you're in a job that crushes your spirit, maybe you're trying to raise a family with nothing but debt and determination, and maybe you've started to believe this is all there is. But hear me, this is not where your story ends. This is where it begins. Think of the most inspiring people you've ever heard about. They weren't born with greatness, they earned it. Nelson Mandela sat in a prison cell for 27 years. Oprah was abused and told she wouldn't succeed. J.K. Rowling was rejected by every major publisher before Harry Potter changed the world. These people didn't escape hardship, they turned it into power. And so can you. But first, you have to stop running from your pain. You have to face it. You have to stare into the mirror and say, yes, I've been through hell, but I'm still standing and I'm not done yet. Pain is a teacher. Struggle is a guide. And every scar you carry is a reminder that you are stronger than whatever tried to break you. Look, we all want to be happy. We all want peace. But happiness doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from growth. And growth only happens in the uncomfortable. It happens when you're tired, scared, and uncertain. And you move forward anyway. That's the moment when your brain that's when confidence is built. That's when character is born. Too many people wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect mood. But champions, they don't wait. They act. Even when they're afraid, even when they don't feel ready. Especially then. Because the truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. You create it by moving, by trying, by falling and getting back up again. So here's your wake-up call. No one is coming to save you. Not your boss, not your family, not your partner. If you want change, you have to be the one to make it. If you want growth, you have to choose the hard road. The road of discipline, of self-reflection, of sacrifice. But that road, that's the road to freedom. Let me tell you something real something. Most people won't say out loud. You are not supposed to feel good all the time. Life isn't about constant happiness, it's about meaning. And meaning is forged in fire. You find meaning when you push through the days you want to quit. When you keep going, even when it's not fair. That's when your soul wakes up. That's when life stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you create. Think about the last time you grew as a person. Was it when everything was perfect? Or was it when you were tested? Was it when things were falling apart and you had to make a choice, sink or rise? Growth isn't quiet. It isn't calm. It's loud, chaotic, and messy. But it's also beautiful because it reveals who you really are. And I know something about you that you might not even believe yet. You were built for this. You were made to endure. You were made to overcome. Every obstacle, every heartbreak, every delay, it's all part of your training. The universe doesn't give you challenges to break you. It gives you challenges to build you, to show you what's possible. When you refuse to quit, there are people counting on you. People who haven't even met you yet. People who need your voice, your ideas, your strength. But first, you have to believe in yourself enough to keep going, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because every experience, even the painful ones, hold a lesson. And if you learn that lesson, if you grow from it, if you rise above it to become unstoppable, you don't need permission to be great. You don't need approval. You don't need perfect circumstances. You just need one thing, the decision to try. Not once, not when it's easy, but every single day. Decide to show up. Decide to give your best. Decide to rise. Even when it hurts, especially then. That's the real secret. The people who win, they're not the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. They get knocked down 7 times, and they stand up 8. They use every scar as a source of strength, and over time, those small victories stack up into something massive. So whatever you're facing right now, whatever storm you're in, know this: it's temporary. The pain won't last forever. The night will end, the sun will rise. And when it does, you'll be stronger, sharper, wiser, because you didn't give up, because you walked through fire and came out forged in strength. This is your time, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to move forward, one step, one choice, one brave moment at a time. And if you keep doing that, if you keep choosing progress over perfection, effort over excuses, you will become a force nothing can stop. Remember, the struggle is not a curse, it's a gift. It's the very thing that will shape your destiny. So embrace it, lean into it, let it teach you, refine you, push you, and above all, never, ever stop. Let's get one thing straight here: past does not define you. What happened yesterday, last year, or 10 years ago does not get to write the end of your story. Only you can do that the moment you understand that your future is not chained to your mistakes, to your failures, or even to your circumstances. That's the moment you take your power back. You see, most people are trapped in a story they didn't write. A story written by their parents, by society, by trauma, by fear. A script handed to them when they were too young to say, "No, that's not who I am." And now, years later, they're still reading from that same tired script, telling themselves, "I'm not smart enough. I wasn't born rich. I've made too many mistakes. This is just the way things are." But the truth is, the story is yours. You can tear up every page and start again. You can become the author of your life at any moment, no matter how broken, how far gone, or how lost you feel. Because you are not your past. You are the choice you make right now. And that choice starts with one thing: radical responsibility. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but this isn't about blame. This isn't about pointing fingers or pretending the world is fair. This is about power. Because as long as you keep blaming others, you stay stuck. When you say, "I can't succeed because of my boss, or my childhood, or the government," you hand over your strength. But when you say, "No matter what happened to me, I'm responsible for what I do next," that's when the game changes. Responsibility is not a burden. It's a superpower. It means you get to choose. You get to decide how you respond, how you grow, how you rise. And that choice, that's the most powerful thing you will ever possess. There's a reason the most successful people in the world talk about mindset more than money. Because they know the truth. It's not what happens to you, it's how you think about what happens to you. Your thoughts shape your reality. Your beliefs shape your actions. And your actions, repeated daily, shape your life. Think about it: two people can face the exact same challenge, but one sees it as the end and the other sees it as the beginning. One says, "This always happens to me," while the other says, "This is happening for me." Same situation, different results. Why? Because one person took control of the story. So what's the story you're telling yourself right now? Are you the victim, or are you the hero in training? Are you repeating old excuses, or are you writing new outcomes? Are you waiting for a sin, or are you becoming the sin? Yeah, this is where most people get stuck. They wait for confidence, wait for motivation, wait for someone to save them. But let me ask you this: what if no one's coming? What if the person you're waiting for is you? Because you are the answer. You are the hero. And the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want is the decision to take full responsibility, not half, not when it's easy, full ownership of your thoughts, your habits, your time, your energy. It's not easy. I won't lie to you. Taking responsibility means you have to face the uncomfortable truth that you've wasted time, that you've let fear control you, that you've believed lies about yourself for far too long. But facing that truth, that's the beginning of freedom. Because once you see it, you can change it. And let me remind you, change is not instant. It's not about flipping a switch. It's about rewiring your brain. One thought at a time. One decision at a time. One new habit at a time. You want to change your life? Start by changing your standards. Stop settling for good enough. Stop telling yourself, "I'll do it later." Later is a lie. Later becomes never. Change happens when you say, "I refuse to live like this any longer. I deserve more, and I'm going to earn it." Start waking up earlier. Start reading. Start eating better. Start surrounding yourself with people who challenge you. Start speaking kindly to yourself. Start keeping the promises you make to yourself. Because every time you keep a promise to you, you build confidence. You build self-respect. And nothing, not money, not fame, not validation, can replace that. You want to be proud of yourself. Then do hard things. Not because they're easy, but because they mean something. Because the person you become when you do what others won't is someone unstoppable. Think about the habits you repeat every day. Are they building you or breaking you? Because your habits are your future in disguise. You can't escape them. You either choose them intentionally or they choose you by default. And trust me, default habits will always lead to default lives. Now I get it. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is painful. It's easier to stay the same, to blame, to scroll, to complain, to numb out. But easy is a trap. Comfort is a cage, and if you stay there too long, it becomes a coffin. You are not born to be average. You are not born to just exist. You are born to lead, to create, to rise. But you can't do that carrying the weight of your excuses. You can't do that living in a story written by your fears, so rewrite it. Right now, no one can do it for you. No one can want it more than you. You have to decide. Enough is enough. And when you do and you finally step into your power, not because things got easier, but because you got stronger, everything begins to shift. You stop waiting for permission. You stop shrinking to fit in. You stop living by default. And you start living by design. That your life is yours. Don't waste another second living someone else's idea of who you should be. Don't wait for a sign. Be the sign, light the fire, and let it burn so brightly that everyone around you is inspired to rise with you. This isn't just about motivation, it's about transformation. It's about making choices every day that align with your highest self. It's about showing up even when it's inconvenient, even when you're tired, even when no one claps. Because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because you made a promise to yourself, and this time, you're not breaking it. So take a breath, look around, and realize this is your moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing. Willing to try, willing to fail, willing to begin again. Because the only difference between the person you are and the person you want to be is what you do next. Motivation feels good, doesn't it? That rush when you hear the perfect speech, watch the right video, or read the right quote. Suddenly you feel unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. But let's be honest, how long does that feeling last? A few hours a day? Maybe 2? Then what? Motivation fades. That's just the truth. It's not designed to last. It's like caffeine, it gives you a jolt, a spark, a temporary lift. But then reality returns. The alarm clock still rings. The responsibilities still wait. The setbacks still happen. And in those moments, when motivation is gone, you're left with only one thing: discipline. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not loud. It doesn't make you feel invincible. But it's the glue that holds your progress together when everything else falls apart. It's the voice that whispers keep going when motivation is screaming give up. Discipline is what separates those who wish from those who win. Think of every champion, every high achiever, every success story. They didn't make it because they were constantly motivated. They made it because they showed up every single day regardless of how they felt. They ran when they were tired. They studied when they were bored. They practiced when they wanted to quit. Not because they loved every minute of it, but because they had a goal bigger than their excuses. That's what discipline gives you. The ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Let's face it, if you only acted when you felt like it, you'd get nowhere. Life doesn't care about your feelings. The world doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. And execution comes from discipline. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. Your dreams are not waiting on inspiration. They're waiting on structure, on routine, on daily action. The secret to success isn't found in moments of high energy. It's built in moments of quiet commitment. The mornings when you get out of bed early, even when you're tired. The nights when you choose to plan instead of procrastinate. The thousands of little choices that seem invisible but add up to transformation. Look at any elite athlete, any world-class performer, any groundbreaking creator. They all operate from a place of consistency. They don't rely on hype. They rely on habit. And habit is born from discipline. But here's the part most people miss: discipline isn't about punishment. It's not about being harsh or cold. It's about freedom. Because when you have discipline, you control your time, your energy, your path. You don't bounce around from feeling to feeling, mood to mood. You move with purpose. You act with intention. You live on your terms. Imagine this: waking up and knowing exactly what needs to be done. No second guessing, no hesitation, just clarity. That's what discipline gives you. It removes the emotional fog. It keeps you moving forward. And that forward motion, that's how you win. Now, some people say, but I'm just not a disciplined person. Let me tell you, something discipline is not a personality trait, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows with use. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. The more you challenge it, the more it supports you. You're not born with it to build it. Start small. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Make your bed. Drink a glass of water before coffee. Set one goal per day and finish it. These might seem like nothing, but every completed habit is a deposit into your self-respect account. Every time you follow through on what you said you'd do, you're telling your brain, I can trust myself. And when you trust yourself, everything changes. You stop breaking promises. You stop waiting for others to validate you. You become your own source of strength, and that confidence. That's the edge that keeps you moving long after others have quit. Understand this: discipline doesn't mean never failing. It doesn't mean never slipping. It means that even when you mess up, you get back on track. You don't throw away the whole week because of one mistake. You don't wait for Monday. You recommit in the moment. Because consistency is not about perfection, it's about recovery. Too many people quit because they expect linear progress. They think success is a straight line, but it's not. It's a spiral. Some days you go forward, Some days you go backward, but if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing discipline over comfort, you'll rise. And don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Social media has created a culture of fake urgency. You see someone's highlight reel and feel behind. But what you don't see are the years they spent in the dark, working, failing, learning. Your path is your own. Own it. Embrace the slow days, the boring days, the lonely days. Because those are the days that forge champions. Let me give it to you straight. There are no hacks, no secrets, no shortcuts, just repetition, just grit, just day in, day out. Effort. The people who win are not superhuman. They're just consistent, and consistency beats intensity every time. You don't need to go Elin one day. You need to go in every day. Build systems, not just goals. Systems are what carry you through when motivation runs dry. A goal says, I want to lose 10 pounds. A system says, I go to the gym at 7 a.m. every weekday. A goal says, I want to start a business. A system says, I work on my business plan for 90 minutes each night. Systems remove willpower from the equation. They make success inevitable. And you want to know the real magic? Over time, discipline becomes identity. It stops being something you do on, starts being something you are. You become the kind of person who follows through, who gets things done, who doesn't need to be pushed, because you push yourself. When others are distracted, you're focused. When others are quitting, you're grinding. When others are wondering why it's so hard, you're thriving in the hard because you've trained for it. You've built a mind that doesn't flinch, a heart that doesn't fold, a spirit that doesn't break. You might not feel like that person right now, but that's okay. You don't become that person by wishing. You become them by working. And every rep, every decision, every moment of self-discipline gets you closer. So stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop searching for the magic moment. It's not out there, it's in here, in you. The work, the grind, the discipline, that's where greatness lives. That's where transformation begins. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need a big reason. You just need to start. Start when it's hard. Start when you're tired. Start when you're scared, because starting is the first act of defiance against the life you no longer want. It's the first spark of the life you deserve. And once you start, don't stop. Keep showing up, keep stacking wins. Keep proving to yourself that you're not like the rest. You don't break, you build. You don't wait, you work. And when others are watching, wondering how you did it, you'll know. It wasn't luck, it wasn't magic. It was discipline. By now, you've heard it all, the truth about struggle, the power of responsibility, and the strength found in discipline. But there's one more thing that pulls everything together. One truth that turns pain into power, fear into fuel, and setbacks into stepping stones. And that truth is this. Failure is not the end, it's the beginning. We've been taught to fear failure, to avoid it, to be ashamed of it. But failure is not your enemy. Failure is your coach, your mentor, your wake-up call. Because failure doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're trying. It means you had the courage to take action. And that alone already puts you ahead of most people. Look around. Most people never try. They live their whole lives in the safety of what if. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I lose everything? But the better question is what if you win? What if the thing you fear is the very thing that leads you to greatness? Every successful person you admire has failed. Not once, not twice, dozens, hundreds of times. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. They all faced failure on. They all rose again. You see, failure doesn't break you. Quitting does. Stopping is what kills dreams. But if you keep moving, if you learn from your falls, if you refuse to let defeat define you, you become unbreakable. Here's what failure really is. It's feedback. It's the universe saying, not yet, not this way, try again. It's a recalibration, a refinement. And the moment you stop seeing failure as shaman, starts seeing it as data, you evolve. Because evolution is messy. It's not linear. It's not clean. It's trial and error. Fall and rise, repeat. But every time you rise, you become more focused, more aware, more capable, more determined. And that version of you, that's the version that changes everything. Too many people let one mistake define their entire life. One rejection, one breakup, one bad year. And they carry it like a label: unworthy, unlovable, unqualified. But that label only sticks if you believe it, if you wear it, but you can tear it off. Right now, you can rewrite the label. You can decide that failure is not a sign you're broken, it's proof that you're becoming. Because let's be honest, what's worse? Failing at something you believe in, or never trying and wondering what if for the rest of your life? Regret is heavier than failure. Regret sticks. Regret lingers. Failure, that passes. That teaches. That grows you. You have to be willing to look foolish for a while if you want to become extraordinary. You have to be willing to look like a beginner, to be the underdog, to stumble in front of people. Because that's the only way you get good. That's the only way you rise. And rising, that's the point of all this. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about becoming so strong that pain no longer controls you. So bold that rejection doesn't scare you. So determined that obstacles don't slow you, they ignite you. You want to own your future. Stop outsourcing your power. Stop giving your potential to your past. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. The only permission you need is your own. You can rise from anything. From failure, from heartbreak, from depression, from rock bottom. You can rise. Not because it's easy, but because you've made the decision to. Because you're tired of being tired. Because you're done with living small. Because you finally realized that playing it safe was the most dangerous thing of all. You were made to build. You were made to move. You were made to rise. But rising takes action. You can't think your way into confidence. You act your way there. You can't plan your way into purpose. You live your way there. Through doing, through trying, through showing up again and again. You want to be great, then commit to the long game, the late nights, the slow growth, the quiet grind. Because results don't come in a week. Mastery doesn't come from intensity, it comes from endurance. And you have what it takes. You've been through things that would have broken others. You've survived storms you never thought you'd make it through. Don't forget that. Don't minimize that. That's not weakness. That's proof. That's evidence that your story isn't over, it's just beginning. Stop looking back. You're not going that way. Look forward, look within. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the clarity, the fire. You just have to unleash it. You have to believe in it before anyone else sees it, and you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to fix your life overnight. You just have to start. Small steps, consistent action. That's how mountains move. You might stumble, you might cry, you might fall again. But hear this clearly. Falling is not failing. Quitting is failing, hiding is failing. But as long as you rise again, as long as you keep going, you are winning. There will be days when you doubt yourself. Days when you wonder if it's all worth it. When that voice in your head tells you, you're not good enough. You'll never make it. But that voice, that's not truth. That's fear. And fear only has power if you listen. Instead, speak back. Say, not today. I'm not who I was. I've learned too much. I've come too far. I refuse to stay small. For one more day, your future is waiting. And it's not waiting for a perfect version of you. It's waiting for the real you. The one who is scared but shows up anyway. The one who falls but keeps getting back up. The one who knows that pain is part of the process and still chooses to rise. This is your time, your moment, your fire. You don't need more advice. You don't need another plan. You need to act, to move, to claim the life that's already calling your name. No more hiding, no more excuses, no more waiting. Rise relentless, rise bold, rise loud, because you were born to break limits. You were born to lead. You were born to rise.